Happy Tuesday, or whatever day it is when you're watching this. Um, Today, we're going to be talking about how to create a personal branding strategy for Instagram. Because, let's just be honest, gone are the days that you can pop a logo in your Instagram profile picture and just make sales. Even look at the big players in the game right now. Geico has the Gecko, Progressive Insurance has Flow. They do these things for a reason. Okay, it's to humanize the brand, give it more of a personal relation and personal connection. So personal branding, in my opinion, is the way of the future for marketing. So let's talk about it. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about how personal branding differs from just branding, regular branding, right? So with branding, generally what that is referring to is some vague term for, making your logo and picking your colors and your fonts and blah, 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 right? Personal branding, we're getting much more specific, and it is where you are building your brand, your branding, your business, your marketing, blah, 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 all of the above around you, your personality, your likes, your dislikes. You are really the face. You're the face of the brand, right? Now, a few examples of this could be Chip and Joanna Gaines, right? They built it around themselves, around their personalities. They're super relatable, super sweet. They even put their opinions out there, and now look at them go. They have freaking magazines and the whole, Magnolia, Waco thing. It's a whole thing. They even have a real estate company. Somebody around the corner from my house was selling from Magnolia Realty. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. But yeah, that's an example. Jessica Alba has the Honest Company. Reese Witherspoon. She has Draper James. She has Reese's Book Club. Notice it allows you to expand your reach and expand your business, okay? By building a personal brand, it is going to allow you to expand your business and do a lot more things, because once people know you, people like you, people trust you, people love what you're doing, they're going to want to follow whatever it is that you decide to do moving forward. So especially if you are somebody who is multi-passionate, you know that you want to be able to do multiple things, building a personal brand is the way to go. Okay, so right about now you might be thinking, okay, Nicole, but how do I do this? I guess I can post pictures of myself and do Instagram stories talking to my screen and whatever, but how do I make sure I'm actually doing this strategically to build a personal brand for myself? So I'm going to walk you through the exercise that I will generally take my clients through when we first start with this process. So preface before we get into the exercise is, what even is branding? What does that mean? So branding, literally all it is it is actually a marketing strategy to help you be more memorable. That's literally it. So when it comes to personal branding, I know it's going to sound so cliche, but the fact that you are you intrinsically as a human are unique. Your personality is going to be different than anybody else's. Your likes, your dislikes, your sense of humor, the way that you teach and explain things, all of that is just intrinsically, it is different from anybody else, right? We know this. So that is what you are going to capitalize on in order to build your personal brand. But we need to hone in on a few things here because, again, branding and exercise and being memorable, right? So we are going to very strategically pick a handful of things that are unique about you, and then we are going to incorporate those things and put them on repeat within your Instagram strategy and your marketing strategy overall, so that way people will start associating you with these things. Okay, so the number one thing that I like to hone in on is, what is your it factor? Okay, now when I say it factor, generally this is going to be something that is unique about your personality and the way that you do things. And bonus points, this is also probably something that you may have tried to downplay about yourself for a while. Maybe it's something that you've even been embarrassed of before. So I'll give you an example. One of my clients, she said that she was always known as the talker, right? When they would go to gatherings, parties, her mom would be like, oh, and she's my talker, oh, here's my talker, and she really likes doing storytelling and illustrating points and blah, 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 which not everybody is like that. And yeah, it might have been at one point something that she felt kind of embarrassed for, but really that's a big strength, right? Being that natural storyteller and really liking to have those conversations with people. So that could be a pretty big it factor. Or for me, it's the fact that I am no BS. And yeah, it's something that like I always have said, my mouth has been getting me in trouble my entire life. Something that I did try to downplay for a really long time because I'm definitely that person that will like say things that everybody else is thinking, but nobody necessarily wants to say, that's me. I'm like, don't ask me for, oh, be honest, because like I am going to be honest with you. And so that's something that, yeah, I definitely tried to hide and really got me in trouble for most of my life. But also, not everybody is that way, right? And so, actually, that is a big strength of mine because let's say if I'm on a sales call with a client, I'm not going to just try to sell you into something that you don't actually need. I will just be straight up and be like, no, actually, that's not really going to be helpful for you right now. Like, let's start here and then blah, blah, blah. Whatever that is, thinking of your it factor. Now, the way that we're going to incorporate this is I then want you to think of some sort of series that you can incorporate this into. So, for example, for me, I have this little story slide that I'll use when I'm about to like pop off about something in my Instagram stories or go on some rant, whatever, where it's like tea time with Nicole and it's me literally drinking out of a tea mug. So some sort of regular story series that you can do. And I've also done a reel series where it was like the real with Nicole, where it was, the pep talk and the real talk that you didn't know you needed. So thinking of some way that you can incorporate that into a regular basis so that way we can start building that association with your audience. And then also, if possible, we would like to incorporate it as something in your Instagram bio, as well as working into your content, your captions regularly. So like, I'm no BS, so let's just be honest here for a second, blah, 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 right? So just incorporating it repeatedly, meaning multiple times a week throughout your content, okay? So that's your it factor. We're going to put it on repeat, create your series, whatever, great. We're getting started. Now, part 2 of this that I want you to do is I want you to sit down and think of 3 to 5 really specific things about you, things that you really like, things that ideally you're just naturally doing in your regular everyday life that we can start showing to people to, again, start building that association with them. So one of the things for me, you already know, I love spooky things. I love paranormal things. I have a paranormal podcast. I generally, in my free time, am probably at some like creepy, spooky, haunted place or playing with a Ouija board or whatever, right? Or watching ghost shows, sitting on my couch. That is something that I am naturally doing already in my everyday life. So it's going to be really easy for me to say, grab my phone and take a picture and whatever. Oh, always somewhere spooky, whatever, because I'm already naturally doing it. But it's also something that's really unique and memorable about me, right? Not everybody is into that. So it's pretty unique. Another thing, I love New Orleans. I go to New Orleans multiple times a year. I have a lot of things in my home from New Orleans. I have a whole gallery wall in my kitchen. That's all New Orleans things. I have like New Orleans clothes, whatever. And so that's something, again, I can just work into my normal, regular content because it's already something that would be normal, like a normal part of my life. So you see where I'm going with this. You really want to get very specific. You don't want to do just like, oh, I like like coffee. Like, okay, cool. Like you and everybody else on Instagram, you know, like get specific. What about like maybe you like craft mac and cheese, you know, and you can like show every day at lunch you're making your box of Kraft mac and cheese, or you're walking through the grocery store, take a picture of that, like, you know, Kraft mac and cheese section. Like, if you know, you know, just anything like that. And if you're kind of like, oh, I don't really know, Nicole, like literally take a look around your space. What do you have on your desk right now? Like, okay, obviously, like if I'm looking, like my phone, that's a freaking planchette from a Ouija board. Spooky, you know? I have my REM pod back here that I use in paranormal investigations. Just looking around, I mean, I have different like books and candles and blah 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 stuff that I got from New Orleans, you know. Maybe you're a Harry Potter person. Like you can see my Harry Potter books back here and my little like wand that I got from Universal. You know, so just look around your house, look at the things that you naturally have, and just pick 3 to 5 and put them on repeat in your things. There you go. And that's really it. It's pretty easy, to be honest with you. Once you start incorporating them into your stories, your content on a regular basis, it's really going to start building that association, helping people to remember you for those things. And my ideal for, oh, well, how do I know this is working, is I want people to send me things, you know? So like for New Orleans, people will send me house listings from like these beautiful homes in New Orleans and be like, oh my god, I found your New Orleans house, you know. Or they'll send me haunted places. Like they'll see an article about some haunted place and send it to me and be like, oh my god, you need to go here with your podcast, blah blah blah, you know. So when you start getting things like that, people are sending you things, tagging you in things, that's how you know, cool, I'm doing a good job, this is working. So again, just all of these things, literally like write them down, put it on a post-it note, put it on your computer, and just start incorporating them into your content multiple times a week, building that association, and that is going to help you build a really strong personal brand that will be very memorable, which is the point of branding. So I hope that was helpful for you. If you want more resources from me, I do have a quiz. It's called What's Your Badass Business Persona, and it will give you a full picture. We're talking kind of like personality quiz type deal of where you're at right now, what your strengths are, things that you can lean into, areas for opportunity, as well as some next steps for when you are ready to get to that next level in your business. I will link all of that below. And if you want to hang out, be virtual besties, you can come by me on Instagram at Nicole Ricardo. That is where I spend most of my internet time, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye.